You think your hobby is your passion. You tell people, oh, I'm really passionate about photography. But here's the thing. You're probably wrong.
What if the thing you love casually and the thing you're willing to sacrifice for are completely different?
What if you've been confusing comfort with calling?
Today on Talk, Learn, Teach, we're breaking down the line between hobby and passion. And trust me, knowing the difference could redirect your entire life. Hey everyone, welcome to Talk, Learn, Teach. I'm Grace, and I'm so happy you're here.
I'm Noah. Before we jump into this conversation, we want to thank everyone who's been supporting us. You showing up means everything.
If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs clarity on what they actually want.
It could change how they see their future.
And to everyone who's been with us from the start, thank you. This episode is going to challenge some assumptions you have about yourself.
Let's dive in.
So, Noah, I want to start with something personal. How many hobbies do you have right now?
That's a good question. I like to think about this. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 things I do regularly. Cooking, reading, hiking, photography, writing, and gaming.
That's a lot. Do you love them all equally?
No, not even close. Some I do because they genuinely make me happy. Others, I'm not sure why I keep doing them.
That's interesting. So, if I asked you, which one are you passionate about?
Honestly, I'd probably say photography, but I'm not even sure that's true.
What do you mean?
I mean, I enjoy taking pictures. I post them on Instagram, I get some likes, I feel good. But am I willing to build my life around it? Am I willing to sacrifice for it? I don't know.
And that's the question we need to explore, because I think a lot of people confuse these things.
How so?
They have this activity they enjoy, they call it their passion, and then they feel guilty because it doesn't feel as consuming as they think passion should be.
So passion should be all-consuming.
Not should be, but naturally is. That's the difference between a hobby and a passion.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Can you break that down?
Let me tell you a story first. I have a friend, Lisa. She loves baking. Every weekend, she bakes something new, tries recipes, watches baking videos, joins online baking communities.
That sounds like passion to me.
Right? But here's the thing. When her job got busy, she stopped baking. She still thinks about it, but she doesn't make time for it. A real passion doesn't get paused. It survives busyness.
So passion is something you do even when conditions aren't ideal.
Exactly. A hobby is something you do when you have time and energy. A passion is something you do even when you don't.
That's a significant difference.
It is, and I think people need to understand this because it changes how you approach your life.
How so?
Well, if you think something is your passion when it's actually just a hobby, you might try to build your life around it, and that can lead to disappointment.
Or maybe regret.
Definitely regret. You're chasing something that doesn't actually drive you.
That's sobering.
So let's define this clearly. What makes something a hobby?
A hobby is an activity you engage in for pleasure and relaxation. It's something you do in your free time. It brings you joy, but it's not central to your identity.
Can you give an example?
Sure. I paint. I'm not a painter, I'm a teacher who paints sometimes. When I paint, I feel relaxed. It's a nice break from my day. But if I never painted again, my life wouldn't fundamentally change.
But a passion would.
A passion is something that defines you. It's something you're willing to invest time, money, and emotional energy into, regardless of external circumstances.
Even when nobody's watching.
Especially when nobody's watching. A hobby is partly about how it makes you feel. A passion is about the work itself.
So the motivation is different.
Completely different. With a hobby, you do it for the result, relaxation, enjoyment, social connection. With a passion, you do it for the process.
Even if the process is frustrating?
Even then, that's how you know it's a passion. You're frustrated, but you keep going.
That's an interesting distinction. So someone could be passionate about something they don't even enjoy.
Absolutely. I know a writer who says writing is painful, it's hard, but she can't not do it. That's her passion.
So passion can feel like a burden sometimes?
It can. And a hobby should never feel like a burden. If your hobby starts feeling like an obligation, it's no longer a hobby.
That makes sense. What about intensity? Is passion more intense?
Not necessarily. A hobby can be done intensely, but the difference is sustainability. A hobby can be intense for a while and then fade. A passion sustains over time.
So it's about longevity.
Partly, it's about what you're willing to give up for it. If you had to choose between your hobby and something else you want, you'd probably give up the hobby.
But with a passion?
With a passion, you find a way to have both. You don't see it as a choice.
I want to dig into something. You mentioned that a hobby isn't central to your identity. What does that mean exactly?
It means that if someone asked, "Who are you?" you wouldn't lead with your hobby.
But you would with a passion.
Yes, someone passionate about music would probably say they're a musician. Someone with music as a hobby might just say they play music sometimes.
Is that the key difference then? Identity?
It's a big part of it. Your passion is how you see yourself. Your hobby is just something you do.
But doesn't that put a lot of pressure on passion?
It can, which is why it's important to be honest about what you're actually passionate about versus what you think you should be passionate about.
How do people confuse those two things?
I think it's because society tells us we should have a passion, like it's required, so people adopt things that look like passion from the outside.
Can you give an example?
Someone might think, I should be passionate about something meaningful, so they decide they're passionate about environmental activism. But really, they just care about it on a surface level. It's more of a hobby or an interest.
And that person struggles because they're trying to force something that isn't authentic.
Exactly. They're not listening to what actually drives them. They're listening to what they think should drive them.
That sounds like a recipe for burnout.
Massive burnout. You can fake a hobby for a while. You can't fake a passion for long.
What does that look like when it cracks?
Resentment. You start resenting the thing you thought you loved. You start making excuses. You find yourself doing it less and less.
Because deep down, you don't actually want to be doing it.
Right. Your authentic self is rebelling against the false narrative you created.
So the solution is to be honest about what you're actually passionate about?
Yes. And that might mean admitting that you don't have a passion yet, or that your passion is something unexpected.
Is that okay, to not have found your passion?
It's more than okay. It's honest. And honesty is where real growth starts.
I think our listeners would benefit from hearing actual stories. Do you have examples of people you know who've navigated this?
I do. I have a friend named Derek. For years, he told people he was passionate about photography.
And he wasn't?
Not really. He liked taking nice pictures. He invested in good equipment. He spent weekends doing photo shoots. But here's what happened. When his job got demanding, photography was the first thing to go.
So it wasn't a passion?
It wasn't. But Derek was devastated. He thought he was letting himself down. It took him a while to realize that photography was a hobby he enjoyed, and that was enough.
Did accepting that change anything for him?
It changed everything. He stopped feeling guilty. He took photos when he felt like it, and that was fine. But more importantly, he started exploring what he was actually passionate about.
What did he discover?
Teaching, helping people see better. He became a photography instructor, and suddenly he was energized. He wasn't just taking pictures, he was sharing knowledge, connecting with people, solving problems.
So the passion wasn't photography, it was teaching.
Exactly. And photography became the vehicle for that passion. But the passion itself was about growth and connection.
That's profound. Do you have another story?
I do. This is my own story, actually. When I was younger, I thought I was passionate about art. I spent hours drawing, painting, creating.
It sounds like passion to me.
I thought so too. So I went to art school. I tried to pursue it professionally, and I hated it.
Why?
Because once I had to produce on a deadline, once there were expectations, something changed. It stopped being about the love and started being about the result.
So it wasn't a passion?
It wasn't. It was a hobby I loved, but my actual passion turned out to be communication and teaching. Now I paint as a hobby, and I teach for a living, and I'm happy.
So finding your passion sometimes means discovering what your hobby is not.
Yes, and that's okay. That's the journey.
Did you feel like you failed by not pursuing art professionally?
I did, for a long time, but I realized I didn't fail. I succeeded at figuring out what actually matters to me.
That's a reframe.
It is, and it's the reframe everyone needs to make.
I want to talk about something darker. What happens when people build their lives around the wrong thing?
That's when things get complicated, because you've invested time, money, maybe your education. You've told people this is your passion.
And now you're stuck?
Not stuck, but conflicted. You might achieve success at it, but success in something you're not actually passionate about is hollow.
Can you explain that?
Imagine you become a professional musician because you thought you were passionate about music. You make money, you get recognition, but you don't actually love it.
What does that feel like?
Empty. You're going through the motions. You're achieving goals, but there's no meaning behind them.
That sounds like a midlife crisis waiting to happen.
Absolutely. Because eventually you have to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? And if the answer is, I'm not sure, that's a problem.
Is it too late to change course at that point?
It's harder, but not impossible. The earlier you figure out what you're actually passionate about, the better.
So the cost is regret.
And wasted years, and sometimes broken dreams, because you spent your energy on the wrong dream.
So that's why it's so important to distinguish between hobby and passion early.
Exactly. When you're young, you have more flexibility to explore and adjust.
What about people who realize this later in life?
They have to make harder choices, but it's never too late to redirect. It just takes more courage.
Because you have more to lose?
Because you have to face the time you've already invested. But staying in the wrong place because you've already invested time is a bigger loss.
That's a hard truth.
It is, but it's a necessary truth.
Okay, so someone's listening to this and thinking, maybe I've been confusing my hobby and my passion. How do they figure out what they're actually passionate about?
First, they need to ask themselves some questions.
What questions?
What would you do even if nobody paid you? What would you do if success wasn't guaranteed? What would you sacrifice other things for?
Those are tough questions.
They're supposed to be, because your passion isn't what feels good, it's what feels necessary.
Can you give an example of someone answering these questions correctly?
Sure. I know a woman named Claire. She asked herself these questions, and she realized she was passionate about helping people figure out their careers.
How did she know that?
Because she was already doing it, for free, in her spare time. She'd spend hours helping friends and family navigate job changes.
So her passion was showing itself.
It was. She just wasn't listening until she asked the right questions.
What did she do?
She became a career coach, and now it's her life's work, and it never feels like work.
Is that the test, that it doesn't feel like work?
Not exactly. It can feel like work, but it's work you're willing to do even when it's hard.
What's another way to figure it out?
Look at what you protect. What do you make time for no matter what? What are you willing to say no to for other things?
So your calendar is a map of your priorities.
Absolutely. If you want to know what someone is passionate about, look at how they spend their time.
That's revealing.
It is, because actions don't lie. You can tell people what you're passionate about, but your time tells the real story.
What if someone realizes they're not actually passionate about anything right now?
Then they're in a discovery phase. And that's beautiful. They get to explore. They get to try things without the pressure of it being their life's work.
Is there value in that phase?
So much value. Because you're not forced into anything. You're genuinely curious. And curiosity is where passion is born.
Let me ask this. If someone has hobbies but no passion yet, is that a problem?
No, not at all. Hobbies are gifts. They give you joy, they give you rest, they give you community.
So we shouldn't devalue hobbies.
Never.
I think there's been this cultural shift where passion is seen as more worthy than hobbies, but that's wrong.
How so?
A hobby that brings you genuine joy is valuable, period. You don't need to monetize it. You don't need to build your life around it. It's enough to enjoy it.
So the ideal is to have both, a hobby for joy and a passion for meaning?
I think so. Or a passion that's also joyful. Some people are lucky enough to have that.
Is that achievable for most people?
I think it's possible, but it requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to maybe change direction.
What about people who are already pursuing their passion?
They need hobbies too, because passion can consume you. Hobbies are the balance.
So they serve different functions.
Exactly. Passion feeds your soul. Hobbies feed your joy. You need both.
What's the danger of having only a passion and no hobbies?
Burnout, obsession, losing perspective. Passion can be all-consuming if you're not careful.
And if you have only hobbies and no passion?
You're living a pleasant life, but you might feel like something's missing. There's a restlessness underneath.
So the ideal is to balance it.
Yes, but first you have to know the difference. Then you can balance.
I want to create a practical guide for our listeners. What are the signs something is a hobby?
You do it in your free time. You'd stop if circumstances changed. It makes you feel relaxed. It doesn't define you. You do it for the result or the feeling it gives you. You're okay with not being the best at it.
And what are the signs of a passion?
You do it even when you don't have free time. You'd find a way to keep doing it regardless of circumstances. You do it for the process itself. It defines how you see yourself. External validation isn't the main driver. You care about excellence.
So excellence is a sign.
Not needing to be the best, but caring about the quality. You want to get better. You're not doing it casually.
What about the emotional response? Is that different?
Completely. A hobby brings enjoyment. A passion brings fulfillment and sometimes struggle. Both are good, but they feel different.
How do you describe that difference?
A hobby is like a good meal. It's satisfying in the moment. A passion is like raising a child. It's hard, it's fulfilling, and it changes who you are.
That's a powerful comparison.
It is, because it shows that passion isn't always easy, but it's always meaningful.
So someone might resist their passion because they expect it to feel easy?
Yes, they think if this is really my passion, it should feel amazing all the time. But passion is hard.
And that's when people give up.
That's when they convince themselves it's not really their passion, but it might be. They just expected the wrong thing.
I want to end with something important. What if someone realizes they've built their life around something that's not actually their passion?
Then they have to decide what to do about it.
What are the options?
They can integrate their actual passion differently. Like if you're a banker but your passion is music, you could teach music on the side, or perform, or both.
So you don't always have to quit.
You don't. You just have to make space for your passion. And sometimes that means changing careers. Sometimes it means getting creative about how you spend your time.
What if someone's afraid of the change?
That's normal. Changing direction is scary, but staying on the wrong path is scarier.
Why?
Because the gap between your life and your authentic self grows every year. That's a kind of suffering.
That's a hard way to put it.
But true, you're living a life that's not yours. That's a loss.
What's the first step for someone in that position?
Honesty. Admit to yourself what you're actually passionate about, even if it's scary, even if it means admitting you've been wrong.
And then?
Then you have permission to explore, to take small steps, to redirect.
Is it ever too late?
It's never too late, but the sooner you start, the more time you have to live authentically.
What about people who don't have a burning passion yet?
They have permission to enjoy their hobbies guilt-free and to stay curious. Passion often finds you through exploration.
So there's no rush.
There's no rush, but there is intention. You can't stumble into your passion if you're not paying attention.
As we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away?
That hobbies and passion are different, and knowing the difference changes your life.
Can you be more specific?
If you have hobbies that bring you joy, enjoy them without guilt. You don't need to turn everything into your life's work. And if you have a passion, protect it. Don't treat it like a hobby.
That's clear. What about people in between?
They're in the best position. They have room to explore, to find what actually drives them, and that's valuable.
Any final thoughts?
Yes, listen to yourself more than you listen to society's expectations. Your authentic answer is always better than someone else's ideal answer.
That's good advice. Before we go, we need to remind everyone to subscribe to Talk, Learn, Teach.
Please do. And more than that, share this episode. Share it with someone who's questioning whether they're on the right path.
Tell us in the comments, do you have a hobby? Do you have a passion? How did you discover the difference?
We read every single comment. Your stories help us create better content.
This conversation is really about you reflecting on your own life, taking an honest look at what drives you.
And having the courage to make changes if you need to. That takes real strength.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being open to these questions.
We'll be back with more conversations that matter. Until then, listen to yourself.
Keep exploring, keep being honest, and keep growing.
We'll see you on Talk, Learn, Teach soon. Take care, everyone.